All right, Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that is due to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, Bashim Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Those in the gospel abroad, living up the standard of Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. It's the Akia Mahaloya coming back with another lesson through the Spirit. Empower Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai. Lord's will be edifying. It says, News dentist say nearby homeless encampments may force her out of business. All right, and if you notice out there in the city of LA, homelessness have grown, or just in the state of California, they said 72% of the people homeless that have been homeless are unaccounted for without shelter. Meaning when, I went to LA, man, and like the homelessness is completely different than what it was 10 years ago. Versus 10 years ago, you still had homelessness. You still had people that was residing in tents, man. But it's something like, I believe the brothers called it tent city or something like that. But I mean, up and down the main streets, in front of the court buildings, right off the overpass of the highways, and right off the highway exits when you get off on the ramp. I mean, you literally got tents and stuff set up right on the highway, man. Which shows you that that's the state of America, because that homelessness is traveling throughout all the 50 states, starting from California, going all the way through Chicago to New York. Because there's like the three biggest cities in the United States, which will be New York, LA, and Chicago, with Chicago being the third largest city in the country. Those have the highest populace of homeless people, with LA being 72%. Okay, so that's a high number, and that's showing you the decaying state of Babylon the Great, because the rents are becoming unaffordable due to the pandemic, the shutting down the economy, and the job losses. People can't seem to afford the rents anymore. So that's been a mass exile, or a mass exodus, should I say, from these particular states, because they can't afford them. Like even throughout the jettas of Las Vegas, leading all the way up to California, because I think it's like a 2-hour drive. If you go like through the deserts, whatever, people are setting up houses out there because it's vast land. But nonetheless, people are losing it out here, and businesses are going under because the homelessness is abounding. Like out here in Missouri, you have a lot of homeless camps out here too. That these people, they set up these homeless camps right under these overpasses or these bridges. Sometimes they're cut in the back of the woods. Like I went down to the maintenance shed yesterday, and I was talking with some of the old guys I used to work with down there, and one of the supervisors, man, we was talking about California because he's from out there, and he said, "Yeah, man, homelessness out there, that's crazy, He was like, "Yeah, I got a picture of here in Missouri," and he showed me the Missouri, side of it, and then it was like a couple that they had like this pickup truck, and they cut like this path to the back of the woods, and they like literally set up a whole crib back there, right on private property. So you can tell people are getting infuriated with these particular people that's setting up these homes or tents right on beneath their property, But ain't nobody got nowhere to go. The money is scarce. The jobs are leaving, and this shows you the state of Babylon the Great, and that it will get worse, okay? Because they were predicting that it was going to be so many millions of evictions by the end of the year due to COVID. A lot of people getting ready to be homeless. Shit, even the men of the Lord. Shit, we finna have to be pilgrims on the earth. We're going to be going house to house, like they showed you on that movie The Road when he came across that bunker. He had to reside there for a few days, get his foods and necessities, and then he had to burn out. It's going to be like that with us too, Sometimes we might have to sleep, brothers might have to sleep in the woods. Brothers might have to sleep on the bridge one night. Who knows? But we still going to be taken care of, because, it's a lot of houses out here. Especially during the time of the siege when the martial law is intact. Basically, man, you're going to have a lot of houses out here that's going to be unattended. People are going to be dead. People are going to be in jail. People are going to be out at the city. People are going to be all over. So the Lord going to have us to come across one of these big, rich mansions in the city somewhere. And we might have to reside there for about a week and two, man, with electricity and food and stuff like that. So, it's ways out. It's ways around everything. It ain't just like the Lord going to let us be some particular derelict bum that's rotting away under an overpass. It's not going to happen. The Lord going to take care of us. Because you got to understand that these people, they have money. They have credit, okay? And outside of that, their credit and their money got them substance and goods, things that they're not even going to be able to sustain themselves. So a lot of them just going to get killed off. And a lot of that food that these Edomites are stockpiling, wine shelters, like I said, I've seen wine cellars as big as my apartment in Edomite houses. So we're going to be all good. But anyway, to focus on the article, it says here, Elizabeth Rojas set up dentistry office in Van Nuys where she grew up. She said the area is now surrounded by homeless encampments and it's not safe, right? Because a lot of these homeless people, they on meth, they on drugs, they're depressed, they're turned to alcoholism, you know. So these people, they're not really in their proper state of mind because of the stress that they're facing, because they never had to deal with something such as this. Because good old America, it was very unheard of back in the day that an Edomite family would rarely be homeless. Like, if you was an Edomite and you was homeless, you had to be doing extremely bad. All right. But anyway, it says here, and this is in Los Angeles, it says Dr. Elizabeth Ross, it says she wanted to invest in her community, but she says nearby homeless encampments may force her out of business, and she fears her dream is now shattered. Well, the American dream, so all it is was a dream. In some cases, you Edomites, you have been able to obtain that dream, but it was a complete nightmare for my people. It says it just become a scary situation. And she says she set up a dentistry office in Van Nuys where she grew up, and she says the area is now surrounded by the homeless encampments and is not safe. It says they're defecating, urinating, but it's now just become violent. It's constant. They're always fighting. They have machetes, they have knives, they have hammers. Ross said, right, and that's true. These people are on a brink of losing it, man. And a lot of these homeless people, like brother broke it down beautifully. He said, look, it's gonna become a war between the have and the have-nots. And the people that's homeless on the streets, they have nothing to lose. They're coming. So a big part of these class and these, what you want to call race riots, a lot of these are going to be kicked off, even though by these militia Edomites, but a lot of these homeless people, because they got nothing to lose. And then a lot of them are filled with diseases. So it is a very dangerous situation. She said they have machetes, they have knives, they have hammers. She says her security camera caught people naked on the street, others armed with knives or screwdrivers, and 2 men breaking into our building. Yep. And it says, and there's a video of 2 people attacking someone on the ground. It's getting dangerous. Like I said, we was out there. I seen it. Like, I seen these tents. It was bad. I'm like, damn. Right in the Central Park areas, right in the most prolific neighborhoods in California or Los Angeles. Like, Los Angeles is trash now, man. Like, if you live in Los Angeles right now, man, you gotta have a heavy spirit, because that city is falling apart. And when the Lord had us out there, I knew through the spirit, brothers were saying that that's the Lord finna do something very heavy to that city, man. Because I mean, it was just like, it's not the Los Angeles you remember. You know, it was lively a little bit, but it was dirty. You had deprecating people on the street. You had bums laying on the streets. And it's no stranger to me, because I'm from Chicago, so it's the same shit. But just to witness that in another city, it's like, wow, you know, this is really the truth. You know, like, we went out there, we was setting up the camp, man, and it was this woman, bro, like, she had demons on her. She was homeless, and she pissed and shitted on herself, and she was literally just laying right behind the camp. Brothers like, man, like, she take no never mind to it. Like, we didn't even bother her, but we need to scoot down a little bit, because, you know, Satan can hop on her and she may try to bite somebody and give them rabies or something. But nah, nonetheless, man, it's getting bad out here, brothers, you know, and it's all hell getting ready to break loose, because as this year progresses and weeks and months go by, especially during this presidential election, and the fact that they're shutting down businesses, people are losing their homes, their jobs, their vehicles, you know, people finna tend to the streets. Like, it's gonna be the have versus the have-nots. All right, so you rich devils out there, like they showed you that in The Dark Knight Rises. They showed Bane's new mercenaries taking the rich people out of their house and throwing them out and snatching their goods up. And that's going to be the reality, because a lot of these derelict bums, they once lived rich lifestyles, man. You know, like, a lot of them was probably doctors, you know, businessmen, clerks, you know, secretaries. A lot of them lived downtown LA or Chicago or New York. A lot of them did, but now they feel like they've been cheated by the system, so now they have a vendetta for blood. And it says here, she said they're fighting over get my knife. It says she stole my drugs, and they're just attacking each other. But areas is in the district of LA City Council President Nuri Martinez. The county and our service agencies need to step up and address the severe mental health and addiction crisis on the streets. Well, why do you think they're addicted? Because they have nothing to lose. It says, she said in a statement, it says the county said it can't do it alone, but effectively addressing homelessness requires a complex interaction of many entities. And when we are successful, it is because willing partners have worked collaboratively to help people move from homelessness to housing. Supervisor Sheila Cole told Eyewitness News. But really, the homelessness is just a strategic plan to bring in all help. All right, because there's enough buildings, there's enough houses. You got derelict mansions, you got derelict hotels. You got abandoned factories. You can house these people in places, man. They ain't got to live on the streets. But that's Esau Edom. He's the devil. But it says the mayor's office was direct, saying no one should have to live in fear of violence. And Mayor Garcetti has been clear with the LAPD that while we should never criminalize homelessness, illegal behavior would not be tolerated on the streets. It says Roa says she has called the city asking for help, and despite what officials say, nothing has changed. She feels it's gotten worse, and the city opened up a bridge shelter facility just a few blocks away, but Roa said the people on the streets won't go there. She said they ain't gonna go there because a lot of them, who knows, they may not come out of there alive. Like they had this thing a while back, a lot of the homeless people were getting rounded up, putting in these camps and getting chips put in them. And then a lot of them, they was getting killed in there, because a lot of these homeless people, they know what's going on behind these government doors, because a lot of them were probably insiders. So she says they won't go there. They're not going to these facilities. But it says, I am empathetic to them. I see homeless shelters come out all the time and offer them services, and they don't want it. She said, I know what to do, but why would we bear the burden of having to see them do drugs in plain sight? But Roa said she was actually considering if it's perhaps time to get up and get out. But we employed 10 assistants, hygienists, and 2 other doctors. But I'm at the point where I ask myself, should I leave or should I just sell and get out of here? I don't know, she says, take a loss and leave. So, yeah, America's shutting down, man. This is the new norm. It's shutting down. It's not coming back. Even here it says, inside California's homeless crisis. Can California figure out a way to house its growing homelessness? They're not trying to. It says, why California keeps making homelessness worse. People are literally sleeping in front of court buildings, in front of Hollywood studios, like the red, like what do they call these stars here, like the red carpet. A lot of people are like, Hollywood is done. It says, let me find another statistic here. Yep, these are pictures. It says in California, 72% of people experiencing homelessness are unsheltered, which is the highest share of unsheltered homelessness of any state. And this is the truth, man. Like I said, on the overpasses, people sleeping on the bridges. Look at this. This is normal. They're just like a neighborhood of tents. This is right in the city. And this is in Chicago too, and New York. Look at that. People took things because these people once owned homes. This is bad. Look at this. And this is going to be the new norm all across the country. Like, hey, when this year's said and done, you're going to have a whole lot more homeless people. Look at this, right in the middle of LA. You don't want to go down there at night. America's done, man. And a lot of these people have been defrauded of their living by Esau Edom. And this is really a humbling and an eye-opener, because a lot of these people were proud too. Like the so-called white man, he was proud as hell, man. You couldn't tell him a damn thing. But now look at him. He's living like a Negro, because you got a lot of homeless jakes out there too. But anyway, it was a video. It was on the abc7.com that I actually want to play. Lord's will it play, but let's see. I'm pretty sure they said the same thing I said in the article, but anyway, just give you a visualization of a visual of what's happening.
As people look to get their lives back on track in the midst of COVID-19, some are facing new challenges completely unrelated to the virus.
Eyewitness Wanda talks to a local dentist who says homeless encampments, not coronavirus, may force her out of business.
It's just become a scary situation.
Dr. Elizabeth Rojas says she wanted to invest in her community, said dentistry office in Van Nuys where she grew up. She says the area is now surrounded by homeless encampments and it's not safe.
They're defecating, urinating, but now it's just become violent. It's just like a constant, they're always fighting. They have machetes, they have knives, they have hammers.
She says her security cameras have caught this. People naked on the street, others armed with knives or screwdrivers, and 2 men building. They recorded this video right across the street of 2 people attacking someone on the ground.
They were fighting over, get my knife, that she stole my drugs, and they were just attacking each other.
This area is in the district of City Council President Nuri Martinez. In a statement, she said, the county and our service agencies need to step up and address the severe mental health and addiction crisis on the streets. The county, meanwhile, says it can't do it alone. Supervisor Sheila Kuehl told us effectively addressing homelessness requires a complex interaction of many entities. And when we are successful, it is because willing partners have worked collaboratively to help people move from homelessness to housing. The mayor's office was direct, saying no one should have to live in fear of violence, and Mayor Garcetti has been clear with the LAPD that while we should never criminalize homelessness, illegal behavior will not be tolerated on our streets. Rojas says she has called the city asking for help, and despite what officials say, nothing has changed. She feels it's gotten worse. The city opened up a bridge shelter facility just a few blocks away, but Rojas says the people on the streets won't go there.
I'm empathetic to them. I see homeless shelters come out all the time and offer them services, and they don't want it. And I don't know what to do, because why should we bear the burden of having to see them do drugs in plain sight?
Dr. Rojas says this is what she sees every day, so right now
Well, why we got a better burden of you coming over here destroying our people? You see the hypocrisy?
Get out.
We employ 10 assistants, hygienists, 2 other doctors. I'm at the point where I'm like, should I leave? Should I just sell and get out of here? I don't know. It's take a loss and leave.
Yep, America's done. LA is done. It's finished. That's bad. I mean, like, you got homeless camps set up right on your neighborhood block. And these were once pristine neighborhoods, man. That's scary. All right? But that's that Lord mingling that perverse spirit out in Babylon. You know? So anyway, I'm going to get that real quick. Come on, hurry up and load. Damn phone. But anyway, this is Isaiah 19, and I'm going to start at verses 2. It says, and I'm going to set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. All right? And it says here, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, everyone against his neighbor, city against city, kingdom against kingdom. Okay? And that's what you're going to see. Eventually, these people are going to rise up, and they're going to start doing a lot of harm to one another. And it says, and the spirit of Egypt shall fell in the midst thereof, and that's the spirit of felling, and that's the spirit of Egypt felling. People are literally without, and that's in every state now. And it says, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. And the Egyptians I will give over to the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, says the Lord of hosts. All right? So, hey, man, Yahweh Shai, he's not playing games anymore. This shit is getting ready to turn up and get dangerous. But anyway, verse 14, it says, the Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggering in his vomit. From homelessness to job losses to economic turmoil to war. It's just all over the place, man. Neither should there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail or branch or rush may do. And in that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts. And she said it's a scary thing. Just imagine she had to work overtime and it's dark outside, and all of a sudden she get mugged by one of those bums. Then what? It says, fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he shaken over it. And the land of Judah should be a terror unto Egypt, and everyone that make mention thereof should be afraid in himself, because of the counsel of the Lord of hosts, which he have determined against it. All right? So that's the new norm now. All right? And it's going to turn up and get worse. But anyway, with that, all praises and glory and honor is due to Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations unto the hopeful elect. And with that, Shalom.